Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to Into the Nexus, the podcast about Heroes of the Storm. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Ferguson. Kyle, welcome back.
It's good to be back. We missed a week, and it was a rather important one. It was Leoric, the Skeleton King, dropped.
Hey. We have missed 3 days. If anything, this show is just like 3 days late.
That's true. The after show still happened. There were still solo Q&As. There was plenty happening on the channel itself. And in fact, did we even miss one when I moved? Was this our first missed show ever? Are we that good?
I don't have the answer to that question.
Let's just assume.
I feel like we missed a show.
Badasses.
I'm pretty sure we missed at least one show. But you and I tend to not miss shows very often.
No, not at all.
We're pretty flexible. We have pretty flexible schedules. My earphones had glue stuck inside them for some reason.
Oh.
So those watching the stream just got to watch me pull glue out of my headphones. That was fun.
Gross. Could be worse.
Stuck to my gauge in my ear. That was really nasty. That was super nasty.
Sweet. That's visceral. Thank you.
But yeah, man, I'm back. I just got back from my vacation, and if you're seeing this and you're like, well, this is on the feed earlier than expected, well, it's because I'm leaving again for Nertacular at the end of this week, and you're leaving for your sister's wedding at the end of this week. So Thursday was it was a non-starter. I'm going to be on a plane. You're going to be on a plane, I think. Are you driving or are you planing?
No, I'll be driving down, but
Ooh.
Don't worry. I'll be plenty busy with the family princess's wedding. Mine was a rather dull affair compared to the ball that is being thrown for this occasion, but it'll be fun. And I am missing Nertacular, which is sad, but hey, BlizzCon this year is still happening, so that's good. Yeah. Good to see everybody then.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that. It's normally I'm a lot more excited for BlizzCon, sir, and I just can't wait for it to get here. But the closer that gets, the closer my wedding gets, and the more freaked out I am. Not because, if you're listening, not because I have cold feet, folks. It's not the issue. It's putting on a wedding that has me a bit on the freaked out side. So the invitations are out. It's actually happening now. People are agreeing to show up.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. So fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But you've got some big news this week. Congratulations, sir. You hit rank 1 in Hero League.
I did hit rank 1. Last night at 1 a.m., there was a number of people on to congratulate me. In fact, one guy was like, hey, good luck. Rank 2, congratulations. And we queued up. We were in the same team together. So, all right, we kicked ass.
Oh,
and
nice.
He was like, all right, cool. Do you want to group up for this? Or I understand if you want to go solo. And I was like, nah, Schwiz, I'm good. I need to solo it to truly feel pride. He was on the other team and gave it his all, okay. I hope. Maybe Scandal in there, but I ended up beating him. Got to rank 1.
No, oh! You're saying he was on the opposing team.
Yep.
Of the game that you won that got you into rank 1.
Exactly. And you know what it was?
I'm just going to go ahead and say there is Scandal because I haven't seen us talked about on the Heroes Reddit in a while, and if anything I know that those guys love, it's Scandal. So hopefully we can create one from the ether.
So in that case, embracing the Scandal, thank you, Schwiz, for creating arguments in the enemy team, ruining the comp by picking Kael'thas. I think that's impossible. And thank you for all the congratulations, everybody. I'm very excited. It took me 536 games to get to rank 1 of Hero League.
Damn.
And in the end, it came down to Raynor on Blackheart's Bay. Not the guy I would have picked, right?
Yeah, no.
Not the map I would have picked either.
No, I was going to ask if you remember what map it was, because then I would say, if it's Haunted Mines, I'm personally never all that excited about being KT. So maybe your friend in chat room did throw the game for them, but personal preference.
Yeah, no, it was good. I'm excited. I'm glad I finally did it. Did most of the climbing last week on the solo Q&A. Went from 7 to 4. And then to 3 that night, and well, it was all solo because I have stopped playing with everybody. Heroes League is a sacred solo place for me.
Nice.
That also means, though, that my MMR and Quick Match is greatly suffering, but one of those has to be fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One of those can't always be serious.
That's what Quick Match is for, man. You're not going into Quick Match picking the best hero all the time. You go there and have fun. I feel like playing Murky, and I don't like playing him in Hero League. Let's play some Murky, yeah.
Yeah, let's smash some Quick Match. Come on, guys.
That's what you and I were just doing, and, well, at least I was playing Zeratul. 'Cause, I really enjoy playing him, but I still don't think I'm Hero League ready with him quite yet.
Neither is my Skeleton King.
I would argue that neither is anyone's Skeleton King.
Well, then you've got quite the argument on your hands because there's a lot of them in Heroes League right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But you know what I'm seeing a lot more of are people's end screens where Skeleton King has the most deaths in their Hero League games.
Yeah, 17 is the highest I've seen.
By the way, this is not hard stats. This is what people send me. So I'm just finding it humorous. I'm just like, okay, yeah, no hero. This is to be expected. I mean, you remember our first few run-ins with the Butcher. Week 1, everyone's like, oh my god, Butcher OP, and you and I are just sitting here like, what are you talking about? We're just killing them left and right. It's amazing. Please keep picking Butcher. But
yeah, and that just comes down to the Butcher being so bursty and having a targeted ability that charges a single person, freaks him out, and in the lower leagues, it's Zerg rushes all over again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So,
but I ended up picking up Leoric day of. I saved up my gold since I heard about him. Wanted that Skeleton King. Such an awesome flavor. Love that boss in D3. And you ended up picking him up as soon as you got back in town.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna move us right into news because you're kind of just did it anyway. But we haven't had a bumper yet, so it's not official.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Point me to the stage.
Stay a while and listen.
I shall. Yeah, so obviously the big news this week is that Leoric is out. No balance patch.
No, there was no other changes that came with it. And in fact, it all seems so rushed and hurried, especially with the character trailer, that we were all kind of confused on that Tuesday. And in fact, he dropped about 4 hours later than every other hero has dropped on a Tuesday update.
Oh, really? Okay.
So my stream was about 4 hours long because it was called Waiting for the King, and that's what I did.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and then did you continue to stream after he dropped?
I did one AI game, but I was pretty exhausted at that point. I lost my first AI game with him because I died 17 times, naturally.
Against the computer?
Oh, I blame... Well, for one, I had a Tassadar as my support. Thank you, computer. With all teammates of being computers as well. And then, of course, after watching the sweet video of him doing his March of the Black King through 1,000 people, sure, they had low health, but I was, of course, full of myself thinking, I'm going to wreck an entire team. And them, 3 levels ahead, didn't move.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't tried him out yet, that trailer's super unrealistic in terms of...
A little silly.
In terms of what March of the Black King actually does.
With the assassins, I feel like they've been spot on. Kael'thas, yes, blow people up. It happens. Butcher, absolutely. Charge the Tychus, destroy him. But when it comes to tanks, those things can be a bit favoring in the message they're portraying.
A tad. Just a tad. So what do you think of him overall, man? I mean, do you have a favorite heroic? I mean, you were getting off some pretty sick entombs in a game that we lost earlier.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying Skeleton King a lot. Since I play Diablo and a little bit of a Nubarak these days when there's not enough stuns on the team, I feel like I kind of have the 2 spectrums I want in tanking. Diablo, amazing health pool, huge reposition people who can't reposition themselves, so great against spellcasters. I've been loving taking him against the Jaina Kael'thas combos I run into. A Nubarak, team doesn't have enough stuns, can't really do Diablo in that case, so there we go. I contribute 2, even a 3rd if I go, the Spiderweb Blast. So Leoric, I'm just kind of left going, he slows. Where do I use this guy? Okay.
Now you've been playing him... What is hyper aggressive going too far?
I think so, because that just makes me sound awful, right? Anytime you say you're hyper aggressive, it's all about ignoring. You got your blinders on. You're constantly dying because you're overextending.
We'll just say you're playing him aggressively.
Tendencies. Okay. Yes, I do play him aggressively, and I've been really enjoying it. And in fact, of all the heroes that have come out so far, his builds feel the most dynamic, and I really change greatly based on the map.
Cool. And do you think? I mean, I don't know how many games you logged with him, so maybe you don't even have an answer to this question, but do you think that's just goes with the territory of it's a new hero he has not figured out yet? I feel like I have a little more freedom and I won't get, chastised for doing some strange build because no one knows what the right thing to do is yet? Or do you really think that it's something special to Skeleton King?
It's not really as plain as Kael'thas was, because he was just kind of lining it up. You know, Butcher's pretty good too, but all his talents ultimately end up either slightly increasing your survivability or for you to do damage. So there does feel like there's some variance in there. And like at level 16, you might take the one that reduces your stuns over something that increases your overall attack speed. But with Leoric, there's a couple of combinations you can pull off in there, but it's almost entirely map dependent. Like everyone's picking reanimation level 1. It's your orbs. You can pick them up while you're dead. Your regeneration continues to go during your trait, which is incredible. You come back, 10 seconds, 13, 30 seconds early if you've got enough other talents invested into coming back. But you're not going to be getting globes on a different map. So on, Battlefield of Eternity and Blackheart's Bay, there's other talents that are good. Block is always a good one as well.
Yeah. No, I
think
agree
the
with
most interesting one is Fealty unto Death at level 4. And that is one that whenever a minion dies near you, you gain 1% of your maximum health and 5 mana. If you're not laning, there's no reason to ever use that.
Yeah.
But if you are laning, you're a beast and you can keep pushing. And oh my god, the level 20 Skeleton Kings I have seen soloing a core, it's incredible. Because the minions pop up right next to them. So what do? They just take a swing at the nearest lane of minions. It destroys almost all of them. Definitely destroys the orb guy instantly at that level. And you just went up 7% of your total health. Turn around, start wailing on the core again.
Plus an orb.
Yeah.
Plus whatever the orb is healing you for.
Those 3 orbs if you went around and got them all. So he has some interesting potential in that way.
Yeah. Although, honestly, how often are you going to be pushing a core with impunity?
Very rarely, but it does happen. And at that extreme level, if you have all your talents picked out that to heal you while you are dead, they're going to need to defend against you because you're going to do a lot of damage. I mean, it's like Diablo fire breathing the core. It gets some business done. Then there's going to be people around to hit with your spells, so you're coming back even quicker, and they can't even leave at that point. Granted, this is all like you're level 25, the game's been going on for 30 minutes. It should end anyway.
Right. Well, cool, man, because I have not had a chance to log a lot of games with them. It was, the first thing I did once I was back in town. I'm like, oh, boy, Skeleton King must play games. But then I very quickly fell back, wanted to get back on my Zeratul train that I started before I left.
The one that I've been really excited about is the level 4 talent, Royal Focus. And I misread it for days at a time. I was like, oh, what a crappy talent. Whenever I use Wraith Walk and take no damage, the cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. That still leaves me with a 10-second cooldown. No, it's 4 seconds. You can ghost in completely and then ghost yourself out 4 seconds later.
Yeah, so Kyle explained this to me yesterday, everyone, and it blew my mind because I had completely misread it as well. And Kyle's like, no. Think about it as an engage, and then in 4 seconds, you can just escape if things go poorly. And
you're high damage. So you ghost in there, you do your big old wave, everyone gets slowed, everyone gets scared, starts running. You may very well be able to ghost yet again and not get hit because they all ran away and just chase them across the map. I'm calling it the King Never Walks because you take level 7 Lingering Apparition. That increases the duration of it to like 3.75, and you're moving faster than you are on a mount, 50% speed. So you're just booking it as this ghost, and then you show up and just wail people in the face.
It's pretty absurd.
I like it a lot. Not every game, though. Certainly, there's better survivability talents. Any game you get to lane in, Fealty unto Death is just incredible. But when it comes to alts, I'm of the mind that Entomb ruins a lot of other people's alts, and it ruins Butcher's bad.
You know what else it ruins? Skeleton Kings that you're up against who go march to the Black King, because that happened to me yesterday, and it was.
Oh, you entombed him, and he just marched right out.
No, I marched to the Black King, and he entombed, and I went nowhere. I just because he did it in front of me, so I wasn't in the entomb. I was outside of it, but he did it facing me, and he did it where I was just outside of the range. So I just marched into this wall for the duration of the ability.
Well, and Entomb as well, there's a lot of counters to it. Anything that blinks and moves in a teleport way is going to do well, but you can lock down Vala's. You can even lock down a Tassadar in there because he technically can't go through solid objects while he's ghosting. So lots of good uses for it. Cool to see Ravaging Spirit and also Nova Orbital Strike used in combination with it. kind of enhances some other ults that weren't getting used otherwise. But March of the Black King is definitely the one I use the most when I'm tanking with him, because the heal on it is really impressive. 7% per hero you hit in a swing. You can really top yourself off pretty well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the level 20 augmentation to that, where you apply your Drain Hope to everyone in an area, regardless of if you hit them. If you could hit them in range of your Drain Hope, you put it on them. And it's a huge heal for yourself.
Yeah, that's a really nice talent.
That Spectral Leech, level 20, oh my goodness, 5%. You deal 5% of the enemy's heroes as bonus damage, and you heal for that amount. Like, Diablo has one that does 1% of that. I think it's a level 13 talent. 5% is huge, and it's shocking to people to be that late game and suddenly have your damage rocket up that high.
Yeah, he's an incredibly high damage tank. The numbers I've been seeing in the games I've played are impressive, to say the least.
So I think when you get down to it, he has a slow, and it's really good, and you can chase really well. So I'm thinking he's almost best used in against double tank at the moment, because you do so much bonus work against people with high health.
Yeah.
Other than that, he can boost ahead and get a kill that's running away, so he works well in the double tank capacity himself, and is rather high damage. But still, I'm not sure what assassins I would plug in around him, or what specialist or healer I would want for him. I know Uther is pretty badass, because you can ghost yourself out, leaving your body behind. He can divine shield your body, and then you escape scot-free. But probably shouldn't be using your divine shield on the skeleton.
Oh, I was about to say, too, though, if he's divine shielding, you should probably stay in the fight, so that people are still trying to hit you and they can't, and it's causing confusion.
Yeah, and we don't really know, like, the murky situation here. We're not really sure if in the late game it's okay to die, because you're only going to have like a 30-second cooldown compared to the minute and a half everyone else is having to sit through. So just a lot undiscovered.
Yeah. I definitely haven't figured him out. Barely had all that much time to play with him, and I haven't read anything that seems all that definitive. So it's the first week with a hero. I love it.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying him a lot. Love his damage. Love his regen globes. So easy to get him when you can just do one swing and one auto attack. So I'm happy with my purchase.
Good. I picked him up as well. I got him and Zeratul this weekend. I'm excited.
Chat room brings up people rezzing too deep. Yes, it's going to be an issue. Just so we know, like, let's throw this out there real quick. You can hearth while you're a ghost as Skeleton King.
I did not know that.
You're not going to get any bonus healing being back in the well, or the Hall of Storms, as it were. But it still gets you out. And you can see on your timer there, you've got 10 seconds left. You're safe to hearth back to a safe location. But otherwise, you do end up playing a little bit Ghostbusters against the enemy team, as they go, hey, we see your health bar. You're coming back soon. Let's all stand around and get him.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that in the games where I was not playing Skeleton King. For some reason, that was the number one thing I entered the game with, as being the concern in the back of my mind. It's like, all right, I know nothing about this hero, but I know I don't want to resurrect in their base. So that's interesting. His trait is just incredible. Like, we were pretty interested in it when we saw the preview, but now that we've had a chance to actually sit here and play with him, it's crazy good.
Yeah, you do get full XP for dying. But I think the thing that's most depressing about his trait is what it makes some other people's traits look like. And of course I'm referring to Arthas. Poor guy. Wow, you empowered your sword. Good job, Lich King.
Hey, it does a lot of burst damage. It gives you mana back, which actually I love as Arthas.
Arthas has great damage now, actually, and he works well with the Skeleton King because of the slow helping Arthas to lock them down with his skill shot.
Yeah.
But man, it's a sexy trait, and some other heroes fail in comparison.
We should do an all royalty team. What would that consist of? So we'd have Leoric, we'd have Arthas, we'd have Kerrigan.
Right.
I guess
have a healer?
I guess if you had Master Skin Brightwing, she is wearing a crown.
That's true. Monarch Brightwing.
And Kael'thas is a prince.
Oh, he is a prince. That's true.
So we have a functional team.
All right. Do we have, peasants on the other team?
So king aristocracy versus the peasants.
I guess Zagara could squeeze in there as well. She is a Zerg queen by definition, not by title.
That is a good point. Fair enough. But she's a lackey in lore terms, seeing as the Queen of Blades created her.
How deep can we go? Because if we're allowing princesses...
and Sylvanas, Banshee Queen.
Yeah, there we go, Banshee Queen. But do we allow lords like Lord of Hell?
I feel like that's stretching it a bit.
Okay. It's a small pageant.
But hey, we just found out we could make a functional team with
Crypt King. Crypt King works too.
Okay. Who's the Crypt King?
That's an Uberak.
Oh, okay.
King of the Crypts.
Again, lackey to Arthas.
All right. Fair enough. You can't be both subservient and royalty, so no Zagara.
Yeah. So in terms of the no changes to balance or any of the heroes with the Leoric release, Spirian did post on the forum saying that, there's not going to be any balance changes this time. He said, quote, much like Johanna's release, the next major patch will have a round of balance and design updates, but he didn't share any information as to what those are, probably because he's not allowed to yet, I would assume.
Kind
that's
of
the
a big
case.
deal, letting it leak what things are going to be patched out. Not something that's really healthy for the game either.
Yeah.
Just being like, by the way, guys, Rhaegar, huge nerf coming his way. Everyone, stop playing Rhaegar all of a sudden. Stop wasting your learning.
Or would it just make you go, double down on him if he's your best character and you're really pushing for high ranks? It's like,
you mean what everyone's doing with Jaina right now in Zeratul?
Yes.
They're basically going, this is going to get nerfed. Let's enjoy these while we can. Zeratul, man, so many picks. It's a bizarre change.
He's really good, man.
I understand. I think he's a lot stronger than Nova because of his teleport.
Yeah, I am. I always hate where we just both agree on something that's it's not proven. It's not we're not looking at Blizzard stats saying that Zeratul definitely wins more than Nova. But holy crap, is Zeratul so much easier to I think to play than Nova and get kills and get results.
His burst damage. I love that he has first aid and all those sort of safety talents for quick match. So he's popular right now.
And he's good at burst, but he also has decent sustain. If you're just allowed to stay on someone, just wail on them. Even his auto attacks hit like trucks. So, anyways, Leoric also has some bugs, which are quite interesting. My favorite, of course, being the bug with Dragon Knight and Garden Terrors, because what is the talent called again? Drain Hope, his W ability, which if you haven't used him yet, you throw this on someone. It has a decent range. It's a skill shot. You have to land it. But then if you stay close to them, like within the range of the ability, by the end of it, you've done 25% of your target's maximum health as damage and healed yourself for that amount.
On yourself, based on your health.
Based on your health, yes, exactly. So it's insane. If a hero stands there and lets you do this, that's a quarter of their life gone, regardless of who the hero is, and that's a quarter of your life healed, regardless of your target. Now, the bug is, with Dragon Knight and Garden Terror, it works exactly the same, with no nerf to its damage or healing at all. So if you throw this on a Dragon Knight that's just wailing on a wall, a quarter of that Dragon Knight's health is gone within seconds.
It's pretty sizable. People have wised up to it already, so you will get kicked as the Skeleton King if you're stomping around doing this, but it gets a lot done, and then you can take that talent that does an additional 10% of damage if it completes, and you can burn through these guys really fast. Dustin Browder has commented that it is not intended will fix in his Abathur written dialogue.
I love his is bad will fix. That nothing will ever get better than that. So yeah, he said that it's a possible bug in damage cap on some talents. He said it's still going to hurt Dragon Knight, and I'm assuming by extension Garden Terror. But it's not intended to do as much damage as it currently is. So.
Right, so he says this ability is still going to work, which is important because it says in the text that it only targets heroes. And right now we have a number of abilities that kind of fail in some situations, like Murky's March of the Murlocs. Just walks through grave golems and all that sort of business. Immortals on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been talking to you all day about how I wish my Sentinel on on Tyrande would affect anything other than heroes.
Yeah, I guess for Garden Terror and Dragon Knight, you do always see them on the minimap, but that is a big part of her burst damage if you build for it.
Yeah, and before you send emails, it's just like, Sentinel would be so much worse. I'm mostly thinking when you take Pierce. Without Pierce, that'd be terrible. It'd just be the
then
worst.
You just hit the big thing in front that has tons of health
Yeah.
and not get much done.
Or not even. You hit the creep in front and completely miss the hero you're trying to get the killing blow on.
Well, there's also a number of other odd little bugs thrown in for him. Currently, it's not always sure that you'll actually pick up a regen globe while you're dead if you take the reanimation talent. Drain Hope seems to miss sometimes if you move too fast. And if you're like us, if you come from Counter-Strike and all these sort of worlds where you constantly are clicking, readying up that next auto attack, reloading while switching weapons so you can do it faster, you're messing up your own Drain Hopes.
Wow. Maybe that's why I'm missing it.
So he
or
actually
maybe I'm
kind of
just
needs to do the animation of the hua throughout the hand grasps, and then you can get moving again. Right now, if you move too early, you might cancel it.
So do we know if that's intended?
It is not intended.
Okay, I was about to say it shouldn't be, because if that's the case, you should see a channel bar when you cast this ability, because that's how channeled abilities function.
But he's also got some delays in there. Like, you do your swing, and then you immediately click your Drain Hope. It's not going to happen. You almost have like a global cooldown. It feels a lot like old Diablo, back when they had those limits on how fast he could use his abilities. It's just to stop him from being overpowered. But eventually they learned that doing the actual combo is what makes Diablo work, and they took it out. Same thing with the Nubarak and upping his responsiveness in the last patch.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, and that is slightly different though still, because it's not like you were missing out on your burrow charge if you click somewhere too soon or something of that nature, which is what's you said is happening with Drain Hope.
Right, and this is, Warrior, so it'd be kind of bad if he was swinging, instantly shooting out damage.
Would it be? Or would it be totally awesome and make him look like a sick nerd baller?
It'd be awesome.
So, I noticed, so there's a note in here saying that ghosts are hard to tell apart. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, they're actually not colored in any way. So unless you know your teammate's name, two Leorics floating around each other is actually not going to translate very well.
So you're meaning when he's using his Ghost Walk?
Well, that for one, but that's a limited duration ability. I'm talking about his trait. And actually because
so you're talking a quick match when there's two Leorics.
Yep, two Leorics fighting each other, both are dead, two ghosts haunting each other for no reason. They are difficult to tell apart.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Because I was going to say, the thing that drives me crazy with him, and I know you've already told me how to fix this issue, but I hate when you Wraith Walk that the ghost that you're controlling doesn't show the health you currently have. And yes, Kyle, as you said off air, I know I can look bottom left at my health total, but I'm looking at where I'm moving the ghost. Ain't no one got time for that.
Yeah, and for the most part, this is kind of unique, and I don't know a lot of people who do it. And pardon the yard work outside.
I can barely hear it. Don't worry about it.
Excellent. You have your left hand, or, I click with my right hand. So my left hand over here hitting my Q, U, E, R, and any other buttons I need. I actually very often switch my left hand over to my arrow keys to move my camera around, particularly when I'm performing very target-centric abilities or walking across the minimap, so I'm always looking around myself, making sure I don't misclick, walk into something dumb. And it really helps to do that in this situation. Use it, hit your W, your E, start ghost walking, and then switch your hand over to your arrow keys and kind of keep it framed on both yourself and your ghost. So you can actually see if a Zeratul just popped up next to you, and if you're going to get burst down quicker than you intend.
I'm going to lay down some smack on you, and I hope you're okay with this.
Go for it.
In the games I played with you with Skeleton King, multiple times it seemed like you died when if you had ended your Wraith Walk sooner, you wouldn't have. Is that because your hand is not hovering over E so that you can cancel it at a moment's notice?
Not at all. No,
Okay.
That was because I'm used to playing Skeleton King with a healer.
Because you just told me that, and I'm like, that's why you died like at least 4 times that I'm pretty sure you could have lived.
7 times, but we had a false dad who died, 12 times? So I wasn't feeling too bad in this particular game. And as playing with any tank, in quick match, you go in and out of having supports, and it just wildly changes how you play.
Oh, no. That's absolutely
Zeratul,
right.
I show up in a game, no supports at all. I take first aid, stone shield, like all these talents along the way that I don't want to take, but completely change my play style.
Okay, all right. I wasn't trying to like grief you. I was just I was curious if maybe that was the what was going on.
You may be right, but it does help me out. And in general, outside of Skeleton King, I find using the arrow keys very helpful. Won't work for everyone, particularly people who aren't used to moving their hand a foot during the middle of a game.
I'm not used to that. That seems insane. It's something I did very early on in like when StarCraft 2 first came out. And then I just started edge scrolling or clicking down on my middle mouse wheel, which is one of the main reasons I buy gaming mice, just because they have nice big fat middle mice wheels. And yeah, the POSs I used to game with are just the skinniest thing possible. You'd like cut your finger if you press down on it too hard.
Well, the only other complaint that's happening about Skeleton King, other than his really high win rate at the moment, he's beating Johanna, in fact, at a 54%. But is that his ghosts don't show on the minimap. So a Skeleton King spotted out in the woods, haunting about, will still appear the same on the minimap. People go chase him thinking he's out of position. All they find is a dumb little ghost.
I kind of like that he doesn't appear on the minimap, though. It's,
well,
he's haunting. That's,
No, he does. That's the thing.
Oh, he does
not change.
Oh, okay.
So right now,
Gotcha.
he looks like a live Leoric that's pushing bottom lane.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I guess I misheard you then. Well, that doesn't seem so bad because you don't want to be near him if you can help it, because you're going to decrease his death timer.
True. That's true. But a lot of people are still figuring that, and the number of people I have begrudgingly informed that they led at Skeleton King here is too high. And that happens a lot, though. It's just an awareness, comes from playing a lot of MOBAs. If you are running away from someone, don't run towards your team if they're sneaking a boss or a camp of some kind. And this goes double for Skeleton King, because he's got scout power. It's one of his greatest things about him.
Yeah. Damn good hero, it seems like, out the gate. I just real quick looked at HOTS logs to see the stats you were looking at, and I'm not sure I've ever checked them shortly after the release of a hero, because it's hilarious looking at the change in percentage on the Leoric, because he just came out. So it says he's down 45.7%. That's because I'm assuming in their system he starts at 100.
That didn't happen for Butcher, so I wonder if they instantly uploaded 5 games of some dude playing Leoric really well, and then that ruined the whole thing for the week. Either way, impressive that we had a 3-week turnaround on this hero. I'm curious to know if we'll actually get the monk in the same amount of time. I doubt it.
Yeah, when we had our guest developer on, and even at E3, it didn't seem like he was that far along.
Right. Seems like he was certainly intended for the future, but they were listening to community feedback more in this case and putting out a Diablo support very quickly.
Yeah, which I'm all for. Bring on rapid iteration. I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel okay with no balance change this week?
Yeah, that's fine. My main issue with balance at the moment is I just want to see people moved up. I don't care about nerfing. Jaina, adjust your playstyle. Nazebo is the very top win rate at the moment. But mind-boggling to me. Congratulations, Nazebo players. It's great, and I'm happy that Battlefield of Eternity is such a good map, because zombie walls in those tight corridors are just phenomenal. But let's spend some love on Stitches here at a 36% win rate in Masters League. That is just awful.
And again, though, you do have to... This is just what we can see through HOTS logs. We don't know what Blizzard is seeing, but...
We can assume it's something similar to this, because when last week or 2 weeks ago now, when we talked about the Butcher, we were seeing the same numbers Blizzard stated.
Yeah. Okay.
So just love on the guys who are low. I am perfectly fine with the dudes who are already high up staying where they are.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to live in a world where Blizzard's internal statistics are constantly in the open and viewable by us. But
Sure, that's not really their approach right now. I mean, I've been talking about Riot Light on this show for a couple weeks, and I continue to love his Ask FMs, following him on Twitter, seeing all the great stuff he's doing for that community and its toxic rapport. But who knows? Blizzard doesn't really have that track record. In the recent years, they've really come out to us, and I hope they continue. At any rate, we forgot to include in the news tonight. We were talking about, new heroes like the Monk. We also learned a release date for Legacy of the Void, and that it's going to release with a warrior.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They haven't said which one, but it is coming out with a StarCraft warrior class.
The internet connection where I was staying in the Keys was abysmal.
Hotel internet?
I have basically lived without the internet for a week. So
that's probably good for you.
If you drop a couple more things like that on me today, expect a similar response.
No worries, dude. I don't think anyone's accusing you.
So it's going to release with a warrior. We're assuming that warrior is StarCraft themed, but they haven't told us who it is.
No, and you get the warrior if you pre-order.
Okay.
So kind of a Diablo Reaper of Souls Vala situation happening here, but we don't know which one it was. People are, of course, really excited about Phoenix. I think it's going to be Artanis because he's main character number 1.
Yeah, I could see that. Any word on if we get it, if we pre-order like a physical, like the collector's edition? Because that's what I plan on doing. But so far, every other release of a Blizzard game, the collector's edition people get their stuff last, which I think sucks.
Right, and this one you even get those prologue missions for. So
oh god, yeah, that's locked out until I get my physical copy. If I order your most expensive version,
it's confusing at the moment. If you go through like the GameStop retailers where they can give you a code, then yes. But if you're doing an Amazon sort of thing, it seems like not at the moment. But don't quote me on that.
Don't make me go to GameStop ever for anything. Oh, that just sounds terrible. Oh, thank you for the link. I'm loading it up right now. Okay. Oh, you know what? I did see this, and I got all excited because I thought it was like coming out soon. I'm like, oh, this is just a pre-order for whatever, and we didn't get a date.
No, and all it was available now for pre-order. I want to play those prologue missions, darn it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to give you some crap. You said we had a date.
Oh, I apologize. Either way, it's coming soon, and it's cool to know that we're going to be getting a StarCraft warrior. I'm very curious to know if that's going to include a Tassadar rework, because granted, it's not a one-to-one, but Tyrael's demon skin has been removed from the shop completely. And we've seen the art on the page for the Battlefield of Eternity that has that totally badass-looking Tyrael with the eyes gone and the big old horns. And he's going to be replaced with that soon.
Bring it on, man.
So I'd love to see Tassadar become a full support
also
during this event.
Quick sidebar. Holy crap, pro pet in Diablo? Is that what I'm seeing? Yes, it is. Oh my god.
Yeah, and you get the Void Speeder mount, which I'm just going to call the Void Sled from now on.
Yeah, it's pretty much a surfboard.
Yep.
Actually, it looks like the what were the hoverboards that future Biff Jr. was riding on in Back to the Future 2?
Man, did those have a brand?
Yeah, it had a bulldog on it or whatever, and all I remember is, McFly.
Chat room, that's you guys. Come on, this is trivia time.
The only thing I can think of is the quote, McFly, you idiot. Those boards don't work on water. You've got to have power. That's all I can remember right now from that scene.
I'm glad we ditched the color schemes of that period in time. Love the 80s. Every future 80s movie was still the 80s, just future.
It was just future 80s, yeah.
They just assumed that fashion was never going to progress.
Well, we've got a few more months. Things could drastically shift.
True. I think we're coming up close on Skynet, too.
They're not. Oh, crap, you're right. Ooh, that's a less happy thought. I'm all for flying cars and doors to houses that, know who I am, but not so much
also,
the robot apocalypse.
No one cares about Jaws sequels anymore.
No, as they shouldn't, because they're all terrible.
But we are getting another Jurassic World. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. We got a quick, or not a quick, well, I guess it's a quick thing. It's a quick thing to talk about. We got a new quick match rule for matchmaking. The community manager, Spirian, once again getting on the forums to tell us about this, apparently after it happened. He said, quote, "We've seen an increase in the amount of feedback stating that veteran and new players are being matched together. To help address this, we've created an additional rule for matchmaking in Quick Match that will take each player's total number of Quick Match games played into account when creating teams." So this is great. It also said in there, by the way, already live. It's already been implemented.
It was Mattel. Thank you, Twitchkins.
Oh, well, that was Marty's brand, the pink one that he stole, the one that Biff and his gang were riding on, were not
No
Mattel.
Tech Series, the Rising Sun, and the Pitbull, I guess it was.
Man. Okay. There you go.
This guy knows his Back to the Future.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
Futurepedia.
nice.
Okay, so he cheated a little bit, but still, mad props, dude.
All right, so it's called a Pitbull.
Some Google foo there. Yes, this happened on the July 16th. So it's actually would have been our last show the day of that night. They put out this this change to Quick Match, and now when I play Quick Match, I play with people who have over 300 games. I don't know if that's the rule, but that's what it's worked for me, and I've loved it.
Yeah, that's great, man. I've only played a few Quick Matches since I got back, and I have not had particularly great results. So I'm curious what that means about my Quick Match.
But you're not running into like laners and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've also been playing with friends, and it says that this does not technically apply if you are grouped up because you guys might have drastically different numbers of games played. So the system is going to break rules where it has to.
Exactly. And of course, if you have a full team of 5, there are no rules whatsoever to help you out.
You're right, as there shouldn't be, other than MMR in general, the best they can, manage.
Exactly.
We got a quick update on bans in Team League. Now, we talked about the ban system that will be coming in a revised version of Team League in the undisclosed amount of time, aka future. So, Dustin Browder was asked by someone on Twitter if he could give any more information on how the bans are going to work in Team League. And stating specifically, and I'm assuming the Baba Booey, HOTS, I'm not familiar with it, but I'm assuming Baba Booey is playing heroes, or trying to at least, professionally, and is concerned because Baba Booey makes a good point that it's hard to practice without the ban system in the game, especially if you're practicing to play in the Road to BlizzCon, which uses a ban system that isn't currently in the game.
Yeah, I actually ran one of these for our after shows last week, doing a full-on, league certified ban, and it's bad, man. Trying to do that through text logs or voice chat just is clunky.
Oh, it's
and
annoying.
what they end up doing at the actual events now is having custom overlays so they can wiggle through it.
Right, exactly. So Dustin Browder said that they will be adding bans after further testing of the 2-ban system that we are all seeing in their esports events. Then another person got on Twitter, Panzer Dan, and said, "Please rethink the 2 times ban for teams as the toon pool is too shallow. 2 times bans can completely de-support a team. A whole class should not be bannable." To which Dustin Browder replied, "Fair point, won't go in until we add a few more supports."
Excellent way to see it. If all 4 bans ends up going on supports, you are left with very few. Real ones, anyway.
Yeah,
And this is actually happening right now in our games. There, on the road to BlizzCon, there's been a number of teams that have tried to corner enemies into picking certain undesirable supports. Mainly Lili in this case, actually. Making sure you take the Rhaegar or the Uther early on and then ban out all the other viable options. Recently in a big game, though, this didn't work out for them as they forced a Johanna into taking a Lili, and they blinded the entire enemy team.
Oh, all right.
So not always the best strategy, but people are pulling this.
Yeah. They need more supports, and they also need to frickin' change the classification of Tyrande and Tassadar. And this is making me put on my patented Kyle Ferguson tinfoil hat and wonder that if they haven't changed that yet, just so it doesn't look so bad at a quick glance.
What do you mean?
The number of supports.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So if you just got in the game and you're just looking at the 4 actual supports that are in the game,
Blizzard likes to do things in big waves and, make more of an event of it. That's why I'm saying something like a Tassadar reclassification or upgrade to a full support will come with the Legacy, the Void event.
Yeah. And we know his support is the next hero.
Yep, so that's going to help out. Though we've heard that he has sort of some hybrid rules to him, so we're all a little nervous.
Yeah. But I would hope the monk would have some type of damage capability or fighting capability, because, when you think about the monk in Diablo, of course, when you think of any hero in Diablo, you don't really think of them being a nurturing and healing person, because every class...
they are all equally adept at killing everything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Even his light from the heaven, whatever it's called, just a giant ray of healing you can spec to do damage in an area.
Yep.
Man, I hope he gets the bell as an alt, because I will be disappointed if not.
I love
that bell.
The first time I saw that, man, that just blew my mind.
Oh, so good.
I think it was Ben. I think took the monk when Diablo first came out. I know he didn't stick with him, but and he got it, and we're all playing together. We're just like, was that a giant bell? Oh my god!
It's with the bell that keeps landing.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so good. And you wanted to highlight a couple of new tools you've been using before we move on. So highlight away, sir.
Yeah, HotSlogs just added a draft calculator. If you're not using HotSlogs, use it. Make an account. Keep track of your own progress. See your win rates and all that with certain heroes. But now they've gone through and started calculating the information that makes up an entire comp. And right now the numbers are real slim. You have a pool of player or characters to pick from. You can see what their win rates are overall by themselves. And as you add them in to make a group of 5, it'll tell you how many games has been played. And if I just randomly grab a selection here, 4 heroes, I can't even get an actual prediction. But some combinations, the more, you grab yourself a Kael'thas and Jaina and make a team out of it, you'll probably find the actual win rate for it.
That's cool. I'm interested to see how this progresses with where you could, because what you want here is to make any composition you could possibly think of and see what it thinks the win rate will be.
Right. So here's like an extremely common combination. I got Nazebo, Jaina, Kael'thas, Uther, and Johanna. I can now see that combination together has a 76% win rate with 318 games played. That
is very cool.
So if you're making a comp and you want it to be meta, this is a good place to check that out. The other tool that's been circulating around is hotsbuilds.info. And this is just an aggregate site of all the different sites that are posting builds, regularly updated as to which one's the most popular. And this includes 4 sites, the Get Bonked, which I've never heard of until this week, but a pretty well put together site, Hotslogs, Icy Veins, and Heroes Fire.
Yeah, I've never heard of Get Bonked either. I was just like, what is this? But it's a nice little website. Nice and clean, easy to navigate.
Yeah.
All heroes all the time, it looks like.
Yep, doesn't seem to have spawned from a different franchise, or it's not Get Bonked by League of Legends or anything like that. So,
right, exactly. So I like this. I like this hotsbuilds.info. Hots and then anything after it. Never easy to say. Saw some people, I think, on our YouTube talking about how they thought we were saying hots, like hoslogs or something. We were talking about hots logs.
We all tried. We tried to call it Heroes. It didn't pan out. Heart of the Swarm is going to be over soon, so I think Hots is here to stay.
I really hate Hots.
I know.
I hate it so much. It's not just because, like, when they announced this, Blizzard explicitly said internally we call it Heroes, not Hots. It's just that Hots sounds dumb. What are you playing? Hots.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really bad, like, off-brand snack food.
Gonna play some Hots when I get home and sit down for some COD with my buddies. And then we're gonna play some Smash Bro. That one doesn't work.
You just call it Smash, sir. Yeah. You just call it Smash.
That's it. Damn it, Blizzard. Hots is too easy to say. You should have added some more consonant words in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you put a vowel in the middle and you've ruined it.
Exactly. Remove the vowels from your acronyms.
And no Y's either. They'll still find a way in that case.
Oh man, COD is another one I can't stand. I actually like Call of Duty too, and I man, that acronym drives me nuts. But I guess calling it duty is pretty bad too. What you doing? Duty.
Rank 5 duty player.
I said duty. Before we move into the Sphinx strategy discussion, got to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. Really, this week for putting up with our poop jokes. Thank you so much, because it's impressive that you've stuck around as long as you have. So to all 189 of you currently, thank you very much for supporting the show. We really appreciate it. If you're enjoying Into the Nexus and you want to help support it monetarily, whether that be $1, $10, or however many you'd like to give per month, that's where you can do it. It's patreon.com/ITN. Not required, but we do appreciate the support. And this week, thanks to the following patrons. Thank you, James F. Thank you, Patrick M. Thank you, John. Thank you, Playboy Dave. And thank you, Sione. That's how
that's badass that we actually grew while we were taking our week off. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, guys. We're getting some really nice messages from our patrons lately, too, who are just jazzed to see that we hit our next goal. And we will be casting... It looks like we'll be doing 2 games in August, man. One at the beginning, one at the end, because with all the traveling going on at the end of this month, I'm not sure we're gonna squeeze it out before you and I jump on planes Thursday morning.
No, but if people are hungry for my casting, they can check it out, because I've been casting some of the Heroes of the Pants tournament that Scott Johnson's running. Got to cast Team Chocolate as well. That was last Wednesday night, and those videos are over on A-Move's YouTube as well.
Now, Kyle, do you think they're doing really so well just because we decided not to make a team?
I think we...
Talk smack with me, man. Talk smack.
Okay, so I won't be PC here. I think if we actually entered, man, we might do pretty hot. But that being said, these guys are getting real serious. I mean, you should see Dills. You should see Scott Johnson playing the Vala, man. Like, these guys have bunkered down over the last 2 months, and they've become pretty big badasses. I mean, we got to have Dills back on the show, because he's schooling people as a Nubarak. I remember when he was playing Gazlo, and we were all kind of having some laughs, but he's taking it seriously. It's cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and no offense to Scott, but I usually think of him as like the casual player. It's weird to see him min-maxing in a game.
Not only that, but, you know, I know he plays the Hunter in WoW, but just being a Vala that is on top of everything and destroying some folks. It's cool to see non-MOBA people getting so serious about a MOBA after all the years of kind of antisocial gripe I've taken. It's a new era.
That's great to hear, man. We'll definitely be playing in the next one. Unless they decide, hey, what's happening this week? Oh, nothing. Garrett's just getting married. Let's start it now.
Now, that is BlizzCon, so I would assume they wouldn't actually do that to themselves.
I would hope so. I would really hope so. God, I wish we were playing in this.
Finals are at BlizzCon.
Yeah, don't that. Are they?
Well, no.
That'd be pretty dope. All right, let's talk some strategy, shall we?
Choose a talent.
Choose a talent.
Talent? Ah, that seems generous.
Yeah, no clue what that means.
All right, so this week's strategy, we're gonna get a little comfortable. We're just gonna hold on. Let's here we go. Here, it's just you and me, Kyle. Just you and me. We're gonna hang out, have a chat about how you are a total badass.
Oh, the subject makes me uncomfortable.
Well, good. I'm glad, because I'm going to preface this with, I just want to talk to you about your personal experience and not what you think is the actual correct answer to any of my pokes and prods.
Perfect.
Cool. So you hit rank 1 this week.
I did.
Congratulations once again. Big accomplishment. You've been working on it for a while. We talked a little bit about this at the top of the show, but what was that experience like for you? I know you've been floating around single digits for what seems like forever now, going up to like 9 and then falling back down to like 12 and then working your way back up.
Yeah, that one hurt a lot when I got up to rank 6 and fell to 13. That kind of destroyed my want to continue into that, but I just had such a phenomenal 5-game winning streak on my stream last week that I pushed it. I went for it. And you know, we talked a lot about how the draft goes and what kind of heroes and what kind of pool of selection you need. And in fact, when it came down to the final stretch, I had 3 heroes.
So you whittled it down? Was that a conscious decision?
It was very much a decided choice based on the information I found on HOTS and what I actually felt I needed for the current meta. So Raynor, something people really hate on. A couple of matches, in fact, I had to make promises in order to assure my team that this was going to be okay. A number of them called me trash, and how dare you pick laner, and what are you doing? There's a Tychus on the enemy team. Didn't you know Raynor got nerfed and his push no longer interrupts that? And it's like, yes, I know, but I'm just a good Raynor. Let me do my thing. And it worked. Like, the number of times I had to say something along the lines of complain when the match is over, or, watch my damage and complain after. It worked out. But I, of course, was full adrenaline the entire time. I mean, I'm a nerd. Adrenaline rushes are so that you can save your life running from a predator. I get them when I tap my mana and go for a wild growth or something.
I love that. I love that so much.
So I was on these last couple ranks from 3 to 1. Every single game was just really high octane, huge awareness, and with all the Zeratul and other heroes, Raynor, man, that range, the cleanup he can do, Battlefield of Eternity, his sustain, and then if anything popped out on me, boom, I just push it back. It gets a little confused, walked away. They adapt to it, but then suddenly level 16, you've got 2 shots of a 1-second stun on that thing, and people just panic. And it was excellent. And every other game than that was Gazlo, because I love turrets, and I had to reassure some people in that one too, but it ended up working well. I had Uther and I had Diablo in the background for when I didn't get to do those Gazlo or Raynor, but they're really the two that pushed me to rank 1.
That's crazy. That Raynor and Gazlo were the two that really rocketed you to your final Hero League resting place. Because, guys, he hasn't touched Hero League since. Kyle is acting like he beat heroes.
Now, Grant, I did this at, 2 a.m. last night? So there hasn't been time to play Heroes League. I've actually looked up to see what kind of happens at rank 1 once you get there. Basically, you get rank 1 and you have a 900-point pool above you that is basically endless because every win is only going to earn you about 7 to 16 points. And each loss is going to lose you anywhere from 30 to 60 points. Now, because those numbers aren't huge, you've got like 7 losses before you actually fall out of rank 1. And then if you're, still good and still kicking it, then you're going to put yourself immediately back into rank 1, have that buffer of 6 losses once again. So you kind of get to hang out there for a while. So I am going to play more Heroes League because I really like drafting. I like having supports and tanks and going through the whole process. It's how I prefer to play the game.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, and I think. So would you recommend folks that are just trying to grind try and just stick with 2 or 3 heroes that they're exceptionally good at?
In this case, it really worked for me because something clicked. And really, one of the biggest things that changed is my win rate on other maps, because a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Sky Temple for me and just the number of problems I was having on it, where in the background, I was excelling on maps like Dragonshire. Didn't make a lot of sense to me why I wouldn't be good at these two things. What ultimately happened was Sky Temple, I realized that it's a group game. And Dragonshire, you're constantly split in half. Even as Cursed Hollow, there's only one objective, so you naturally come together for those fights. Where Sky Temple, 2 shrines pop up, you have to make group decisions, and often they don't happen. So I started being that guy. Say, just ignore, let them have that one, we'll split evenly. Cool, we got 2 shots on that top one, leave it, let's go bottom. They've got middle and top. Let's take the boss. And those sort of big changes really pushed me over into rank 1.
It also sounds like people started listening to you, which might help.
Right? Well, when you get into a game and you say someone's hero is trash and they tell you that they're going to kick ass and to watch them do it, I think you listen to that guy, right?
I would hope so. I mean,
yeah, because suddenly he's top damage and you're thinking about complaining about Raynor, but this guy over here is a huge badass.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Gazlo, because I, for one, have seen that with Gazlo in my games more than any other hero. Again, this is personal, not actual hard stats. But the amount of games where Gazlo has been picked, the other people on my team start giving him a bunch of crap, and either they say something like you said, or they say nothing at all, and then at the end of the game, the people who are giving him crap go, I'm sorry, I doubted you. I'm pretty sure I've only seen that with Gazlo.
And for Gazlo, one of the things I ended up doing was saying, I'm taking Gravity Bomb at the start of the match. I think in the future, I will be taking the Robo, whatever it's called.
Robo Goblin or whatever it's called.
I'm going to be working on it for Sky Temple and maybe 1 or 2 other maps. But ultimately, when I say I take Gravity Bomb, the whole team goes, oh, thank goodness. All right, we got this. Because it means you're a team player and you're not going to fart off in the top lane all game.
Yeah,
that all wins games. I'm flabbergasted when people take the other alts because Gravity Bomb is incredible.
It's a fantastic ultimate ability or heroic ability. I'm trying to strike ultimate from my vocabulary, and it's not helping with the international going on right now.
Fair enough.
It's not helping at all. My Twitter is full of people discussing TI5. Full of it. Full of it. So, any other advice? I mean, I don't know. Do you have like one just little nugget that you would like to bestow upon us, Kyle? If we're trying to climb the ranks.
Play safe. I mean, geez, I can't think of enough games where people just wanted to get aggressive and we could have won just taking the baby steps out with Gazzo. It's so important. Set up your 2 turrets and then put up your forward one. Now you have an entire zone that you're safe to run around in. You know, don't expect that first turret to be your furthest one out when you first set it. But ultimately, like, talk to your teammates and recognize which maps are actually team games and which ones you can go up by yourself on and change your talents accordingly.
Oh, cool.
You spend so much time laning in Spider Queen as opposed to Blackheart's Bay. Your talent build needs to be different. And for me, I'm embarrassed to say, because we spent so much time talking about what 10 heroes people should pick before going into Heroes League, that I ended up doing it with 4 heroes. Diablo, Raynor, Gazlo, and Uther.
So has your opinion changed? Do you think people should just find 10 heroes but only play like 4 if they can help it?
I think, yeah, because Raynor's skill shot is so small and it's so precise that I have tons of time invested into him now. That picking another assassin, even if a Jaina or a Kael'thas would mix better because we have plenty of auto attacks, I need to go Raynor because I'm just good.
Gotcha. We're all of this has been talking solo queue, by the way, folks.
Yes, absolutely.
Which, Kyle, don't expect to see me ever playing Hero League with a friend ever again.
It does seem that way, and I will say when I got up to rank 3, everyone on both sides was rank 1, rank 2, or rank 3. It was very refreshing. Gotcha. And it's sad to, leave my friends in the background because I enjoyed grinding that out with them. But, I mean, it took 534 games. A lot of those were me learning how to play, what heroes I wanted in which selections. But a sheer half of those losses in there are probably because I teamed up with someone who I shouldn't be teaming up with, threw the MMR wildly off, and the game tried to compensate.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Well, grats again. I'm looking forward to making the push once I'm back from Intertacular.
Absolutely, dude.
I need to catch up. This cannot stand.
You can do it. I did it, man.
This cannot stand. Cool. Well, let's take an email or two.
Darkness stopped calling.
I hear the wilds call. Wait, nature calls.
Okay, tell them I'm not here.
You can send your emails to itncast@gmail.com. Our first one today comes to us from Brandon, who wanted to send us his Battlefield of Eternity strategy. I emphasize his Battlefield of Eternity strategy. What?
No, let's see it, because he titled this as winning every single one with this strat.
Okay, fair enough. So he said his standard composition for this strategy is Zeratul, some type of heavy tank with a lot of sustain. He recommended Johanna or Muradin. Poke DPS, get Jaina, get Raynor, another poke DPS of your choice, and grab a support. Obviously, preferably he said he likes Malfurion because it keeps people in the fight, what with mana and healing.
Yeah, those are some long sustained fights on Battlefield of Eternity for sure.
Yep. So he said that basically the tank and the rest of DPS are going to play defense, and Zeratul is going to go and attack the enemy's Immortal. So this is during the Immortal phase. So you have all 4 of your team, other than Zeratul, go and defend your own Immortal, and then Zeratul goes and DPSs the opposing Immortal all by his lonesome. In this scenario, our writer, Brandon, is playing Zeratul, and he says, if I ever run into trouble, I can blink out. Our team defends our Immortal, not really looking for kills too often unless presented a clear opportunity. If the team decides to push our Immortal, they will find that trying to kill a Johanna with 2 poke DPS behind her is going to be very damaging and very tedious. Even if they go all out on our Immortal, Zeratul will burn it down quicker just because of the resistance Johanna or Muradin can put up with some glass cannons behind them. He said if their teams decide to defend the boss, well, that's great too. It's a stalemate. Some of the poke DPS can go push the lane that is closest to their immortal or whatever they feel comfortable with. Meanwhile, Zeratul can pop in and out, getting whatever DPS he can. It's pretty cut and dry, and honestly, I don't remember losing with this strategy as long as everyone follows the basic strategy. I also have to ask a pretty important question. How can Illidan come under the effects of blind? Well, that last question's a very good question. I don't have an answer for you unless it's magic.
Also, how can Tassadar and Zeratul be silenced when they have no mouths to speak? You. Unless it's a No, wait, hang on. Actually, I moved all my D&D books. I can't look up if a zone of silence cancels telepathy. Because 3.5 is the ultimate rule set for all video gaming, right? We could figure out Protoss in there.
Sure. But what do you think of his strategy here?
I think it's really solid. The important thing to note here is that he is going back to lane if it's a stalemate for me. And that's something people need to do. If you have a special, it's pretty clear. If you have a Murky or a Gazlo, very often they're going to say something along the lines of, I'm going to stay in lane. I'll run and throw some puffer fish or D a little bit when needed. But mostly I'm going to be in between lanes, making sure we're getting XP, particularly trying to get to level 4 off the first immortal. Because if you can have that slight talent advantage, it can really help you to get that guy before your enemy can. I think Zeratul's a great person to be killing the immortal by himself with the blink. And I don't like Johanna's and double pokes, man. That hurts.
It's right.
It's a good comp.
Johanna's a real good tank, man. I think she's still my favorite at the moment.
And we were asked here in the chat, what defines a poke DPS? The idea is basically anyone that is going to do a long-ranged, safe bit of damage.
Yep, that's why you've got KT and you've got Jaina.
Exactly.
Rainer's not a bad choice there either, actually.
No, I love his sustain on this map.
It's good. Now, you like playing Gazlo, and I find it interesting that did you find yourself picking Rainer a lot more often on Battlefield of Eternity?
I can actually tell you the exact numbers here, thanks to hotslogs.com.
They are not a sponsor.
No, we just
like them that much.
Gazlo, I played more games as 80% win rate on that one. Rainer, 75%.
Nice. Oh,
Gazlo, Rainer I take because we need the auto attacks, we need the cleanup. But his heal give me more talent level 1. You're not going to be spending any time laning, so why get marksman in that case? Gazlo has a little bit of trouble with his mana being outside of lane for me because of the way I build him. But running into an immortal and dropping a turret, anything that is auto-attacking anybody while all those stuns is going off, you can be top damage as Gazlo in Battlefield.
Damn. Well, all right. Sweet. Yeah, I like this. Now, we were talking a little bit off stream about what kind of the accepted regular strategy for Battlefield of Eternity is, and I was asking you because when I left a week ago, I still wasn't entirely on the up and up, and you said it was basically grab one specialist and they're gonna for the most part lane.
And what he says here is exactly right. He's gonna have higher damage since he's lacking the specialist in this case, but recognizing when it's a stalemate and getting at least one person back in lane so you can have that level advantage or still get your talents worked out is going to be huge.
Sweet.
Great strategy, man. And, Zeratul, I think, is a great pick for this. I think you can also do it with someone like a Rainer. Anyone, maybe even a Vala can get out of there. But it is dangerous being the lone DPS on the Immortal, particularly depending on what side of the map he's on.
Yeah. We had a really rough Battlefield of Eternity game today.
We did. We had a few deaths on our team.
A few?
And we had one too many specialists.
Yeah, but the other team had 2 specialists too. They just played a lot better than our specialists. Yeah. Actually, our Asmodean was okay. His siege name was super high, and he had almost no deaths when the rest of us were just dropping like flies.
It happens, man. There was a good Murky, too, on the enemy team.
Oh, damn, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Murky was not pushing lanes. Murky was furiously DPSing down our Immortal.
Battle Murky. Yeah, he burned through that, didn't he? Well, I guess the immortal stands still, so it's a good pufferfish target.
Yeah. Pufferfish does so much damage, man. It's insane. And then later on, you get the increased pufferfish damage to slime targets, and they're just standing still, and it's absurd.
Murky is a lot of fun to kill at Skeleton King because your auto attacks and your big ol' swing just do so much damage, and he goes, whoa, and the big swing sound, and then Murky going, rah, as the thing goes, ding. Like, it's really sad. It's like playing whack-a-mole. But with that attack speed, you cannot kill a single pufferfish by yourself.
Could you do me a favor and make that Murky sound one more time?
Or the blah, as he goes, and they need to change that ding. I've been saying that forever, but just make it a squish. So, because every time I hear ding, I go, who? What? Why are we losing?
No, it's just Murky.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's
Everything's fine. We're all fine. How are you?
It's just Lost Vikings. Or something for Uther, because when he dies, I go, did anything actually happen? What was that noise?
You just want a thing that just, you want like a sound that just says, dead soon.
Yeah, or for the light or something.
Or half dead.
Well met.
Pretty dead. Anyway, thanks for that email. It's a sound strategy, Brandon. I like it. I like it very good. Our second email today comes to us from Brian, who writes, through broadcasting LFG in the AMove TV channel, I got grouped with Larb, Yajini, Sark, and Deathpone. We just happened to all be on a warrior when we joined a party and decided to try a 5-man warrior game. It went as expected. A loss, but major fun. We just kept telling ourselves that we were playing tower defense and our theme game was born. Full specialist, full assassin, full Warcraft. No, we didn't win every game, but we had a blast the whole time. I encourage everyone out there to give it a try with the great community of AMove TV and watch as the hilarity ensues. Thanks for the great podcast and GLHF. That is great. That makes me happy.
Yeah, we tried out some pretty wacky combinations on last week's after show games, or no show after show games as they were. And we got really close with the XP comp we did. And this was Lost Vikings plus anyone else who had a movement ability. So Brightwing, ETC with Stage Dive, Falstad. And we almost won that one. But the one that absolutely destroyed was All Specialist Blackheart's Bay. There was just so much lockdown. There were turrets everywhere. There was demon spawning every second. Asmodeum burning through chests in half a second. The enemy team had a proper support, a dive comp basically with heals, and they couldn't handle it. We won 4 levels, 5 levels ahead.
That's insane. I missed some good fun last week.
So maybe in that situation, Blackheart's Bay is a unique enough map that you can pull something along those lines.
Sweet.
But, man, all warrior game. I would love to see something like that on Haunted Mines. Because I don't think that game would go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Well, I wonder what are we doing in our after show games?
No, we could choose something wacky.
We could, or we could just do a straight up game. Who knows? We'll figure it out in a second. But that'll do it for this week's show. Those of you attending Nerdtacular, look forward to seeing you. Please come up, say hi. Feel free to make jokes about Crackle, and we don't really have a running joke on Heroes, I guess. But, yeah.
Basically, just yell Garrett facts at Garrett.
Garrett. Don't yell Garrett facts. I want you to yell what you think is a Garrett fact. And then end it with hashtag Garrett facts.
Yeah, no, don't just randomly bird out Garrett facts. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's just like, Garrett spends more time on his hair than his fiance. Hashtag Garrett facts. But the funny thing is that most Garrett facts aren't actually Garrett facts. That one is true some days. It depends. It depends on the day.
Fair enough.
So
it's called upkeep, my friends.
It's gonna be a fun time, and we're looking forward to Nerdtacular. I had a great time last year, so if you're going, can't wait to hang out with you guys. It'll be a good time.
Man, the instance panel for that is going to be badass.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be very fun. Chris Metzen, if you're listening, I'm sorry for all the really random and nerdy questions I'm probably going to ask you.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm bringing my red shirt. I'm bringing it. So thanks again to our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. We really appreciate the support, guys. Also, thanks to those of you who are leaving us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store. It helps the show out a lot. Thank you to Garon this week, who wrote, I joined your chat channel in the game and found a fantastic community of gamers who remember to compete but also have fun while doing it. Keep it up. That makes me happy. Everyone, if you're in Heroes of the Storm right now, do me a favor, in the lobby, type /join space AMOVE TV. You will join the AMOVE TV chat channel, and you will talk to very nice people. As long as you're nice. I'm assuming everyone in AMOVE TV is just like me, and they're the nicest people in the world until you are a jerk to them.
Right, exactly. You want to throw down? We'll throw down.
Well, yeah, you want to, don't throw down in there. Don't.
No.
That's not where you got to throw down.
No reason to.
Yeah. Also, thanks T-Soccer39 and thank you Void Drake for your 5-star reviews. Really appreciate them. Into the Nexus is produced by AMOVE.tv and our patron producers Declan H. and Edward L. Thank you guys. You can see more about this and all of our other shows over at AMOVE.tv. Our email is itncast@gmail.com, and you can continue the discussion of today's topics over at itncast.reddit.com. Catch us live usually on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMOVTV or on alphageekradio.com. There will be no show this Thursday as Kyle and I will both be traveling. So this is our episode for the week. We will be back the following Thursday with a new Into the Nexus. We look forward to talking to you all there. Go to youtube.com/StarcastShow for all of our past episodes and other videos like Kyle's very popular solo Q&A segment. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast and check out BrianGriffithMusic.com for awesome music, including the intro music to Into the Nexus. Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Kyle Ferguson. Follow me there for updates about shows, random musings, heroes, screenshots that are well framed, if I may say so myself, Photoshop skills. And solo Q&A, you mentioned it, but this week I will be playing probably mostly Skeleton King. And next week, I am accepting replays. So if anyone out there has a replay, particularly if you won, but you think you played badly, or if you lost and you have no idea why you did, send those over to itncast@gmail.com. And I will be reviewing those next week's solo Q&A show.
Nice. That's really cool. And you can find me on Twitter at GarrettArt. I'm also at nomoonart.com. That's my graphic design portfolio. Check that out. I'll be on the Angry Chicken actually right after this. Well, not right after, a few hours after this, talking about not a whole lot. Nothing really happened. It'll be a really boring episode.
No, there's no reason I'm not spending all my dust right now trying to make my Silverhand recruit deck. Look, I'm a little free to play, man. I'm a little late to the party. I just unlocked Kale on Sunday. Kale Thas, that is.
No. Kel Thuzad.
Kale Thuzad, thank you.
KT.
Yes,
Kel
KT.
Thuzad. Yeah, he's not Kale. He's Kel.
Kel, yes.
You just call him Kel Thuzad. No one calls him Kel.
Old Zod and me.
Literally no one. You don't know him that well, okay? You can't call him Zod.
I just don't want that. What's in that next pack of Blackrock Mountain? This card's a crap for me. And, I mean, does anyone even use Demon Wave of 2 damage or whatever for Warlocks?
Nope.
Probably not.
Nobody does. Literally no one. Ever.
Bummer. That was the only thing I was going to climb for. So, saving those money for the new set.
If you have Imp Gang Boss, you're good.
Yep, I've got him.
You're fine as a Warlock. You're totally good to go. Just because we aren't running ads at the top of the show anymore doesn't mean that these codes don't still work. Use the code ITN over at doghouse-systems.com. You'll get a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive added onto your rig, and you'll also directly support Into the Nexus in the process, as well as over at tweakedaudio.com. They make great earbuds. You can go check them out. Same code, ITN, get you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order as many times as you want to order from them. So go check them out, tweakedaudio.com, doghouse-systems.com. ITN is the code. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you in, almost 2 weeks' time for the next episode. But hopefully I'll see a lot of you in Nerdtacular. Have a good one, everyone. Good luck and have fun.
Take care.